It's been a little while, guys. It's been a little while. I'm sorry about that, but we're back here with a Fantasia podcast, episode 5. And when I say been a little while, like FNCS Trios wrapped up. There's probably been like, what, 2 Dream Hacks or something like that. We still don't have an EU guest, but we're here, and that's what matters, right? We're here, and that's what matters. We're trying to be consistent, but, we probably never will. In any case, I'm sorry, I had some stuff to take care of. We're back now. Our little break is over, and the end of season event is tomorrow, Shia. I'm still not 220, but we're getting there slowly.
How far away are you? Because I have like 9 to go.
I'm like 90 levels
90?
away.
It's close.
I don't think it's
close,
possible.
Man.
A level a day, right?
A level a day, so we used to say. But yeah, we missed out on a lot. So like, I guess today's episode is going to be focused on catching up, right? Yep. And going over a bunch of stuff that's happened over the weeks.
Well, it's like the bonus episode. Right? Season 4 is about over, so it's like, of course, it's doing the weird sound again. Is it bad enough, or like what's going on, Robbie? You let me know.
Chap Suite will be coming up, a little bit of previews and stuff. We got a bunch of stuff, like all the stuff that's going to be.
I like how Robbie's just like, it's been enabled. Like, all right, cool. All right, let's start the show, guys. Appreciate all the support. Please like, subscribe, all the stuff on everywhere. Let's talk about actual Fortnite. Let's talk about comp. It's off season. And I think a lot of people don't really know what that means, Sean. I'm seeing a lot of crazy tweets that are like, what to do, basically.
Yeah, it's like if you play 16 hours of Fortnite a day, if you have none to play afterwards, what is your life? I feel like is what it is for a lot of players. Like some people find it like religiously wrong to boot up any other game or executable file. That's not Discord, Spotify, not Spotify anymore, actually, if you stream, and Fortnite. So it's like, what do you do? What is an off season to you though for Fortnite purposes?
I think it just becomes like grind mechanics time. And I think a lot of people actually have fun with that. So I don't know what all the fuss is about in terms of like, people are always arguing like, oh, people should encourage breaks. And yeah, breaks are healthy, but if you don't want to take a break, you don't want to take a break. I think that there's a whole hubbub about off season. When in reality, I think the biggest thing that I've seen, I saw Shark tweet about it yesterday, like not knowing the schedule in off season really sucks, because off season is when I'm trying to plan vacations, when I'm trying to figure out like, specific things for the holiday season coming up and stuff like that. That bothers me more than like the debate about whether to take a break or whether to grind or whether I can play Cold War or not,
Yeah, it's not only that too with the off season in terms of like, us or players or like tournament organizers, right? Like, is it even an off season at all? It seems like it's on season for these guys completely in terms of how many tournaments we have overall. And then these guys also knowing dates, like later on in the month, like that's a big thing too for them.
Well, the thing is, like, it's even worse for tournament organizers, because the off season is the time where they can actually run things without being interrupted, unless you're trying to run something like tomorrow when the end of season event is happening, which is always a mess. I've seen definitely a couple tournaments be ruined because of the stuff like that. But I mean, in general, it's always after FNCS, because there's typically nothing happening. There's no cash cubs. So this is the best time to run it. But you think about during the season, how many things we have going on. It's too much to actually actively try to do anything without carving out some chunk of a unideal day. Like there's no way you can run anything on peak hours throughout the season, which is kind of unfortunate. I think that needs to change, actually.
Even us like trying to run a 1 hour, 1.5 hour podcast was like difficult. And that's with what, like 3 entities involved, me, you, and like a player. Sometimes, Robbie, but it's like, or actually all the time, Robbie. I don't know what I'm saying there, but past that, trying to get like 100 people on the same page and dedicated to a 6-game time slot.
Yeah.
And you know how formats go. Sometimes you're playing on West and East in the same tournament. It gets crazy. But yeah, like maintaining that, it's kind of crazy.
It's Discord War season. It's, wager season, whatever. It's fine. I enjoy it. It always gives me like a break, a way to step back and plan for the next season too. Like that's how all these cool projects start, right? That's how Fantasia got started in the first place. It was off season for a bit. Trio FNCS was coming. We were like, oh, we need to do something. Like we have to do something new, right? That's how our broadcasts do FNCS broadcasts. It was during off season that we started thinking about all that stuff. So yeah, that's pretty important. is you've been trying to get at this question though about like if there is actually an off season. You're saying the TOs. Is there? Ooh, yeah. Actually, can we do that, Robbie? Tell us when you got that shit ready. All right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Pull it
Middle
up.
of it's always like at the start of the episode, man, when we're in the flow, and it's
Yeah.
like boom, something happens, competitive announcement, or this Issa quitting Fortnite, or just quitting in general.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to pull up. Let me pull
thought
it
I
up.
could time it well.
Too. Yeah, it tried. We tried.
We tried.
Issa quitting Fortnite. Wow. Okay. I don't know how to start this, but I'm quitting. As many of you know, I signed with an Oregon, was going to try content creation, but it just doesn't work out with my hand. That's been the ongoing issue with Issa for a long time. I've been going back and forth for a while and realized I need to either do it or quit. I appreciate every single one of you that supported my journey. Yes, I had the best time of my life. Wow. Okay. This is interesting because our next topic was about like people coming back, but Issa quitting. He hasn't been playing for like seriously for a long time because he's had, I think it's tendonitis in his hand. And that's obviously, cut off his prowess or no, his aspirations of being a really, really good player mechanically with the controller.
My thing though is I feel like, especially for Issa, there's like a chance to pivot and stay in the scene at least of content creation.
Yeah.
Might not be Fortnite, but vlogs, like any type of other content. Like he's got the brand and the following for it, man. The guy can tweet out like a dot and get like 7,000 likes. Like, I don't, but still, people have goals.
He's been running through this content creation or quit for a whole year, it feels like. And he's never, ever been interested actually in the content creation route. So I literally don't think that was even an option for him because that's just not what he's interested in. He wants to be the best. I think that's simple. So yeah, it makes sense. It's unfortunate, but esports does have, injuries that can be career ending, right? That does happen. And here's a perfect example of it. I mean, shit, like your wrist is done, your hand is done. Like, you gotta be taking care of yourself. Obviously I don't know the details of Issa, but this should be a wake up call to a lot of people too, especially young people who are going hard on creative, going hard on Kovacs or whatever. Like it can really mess you up if you're not paying attention.
Yeah, it's not even. I want to say like obviously it's unfortunate, but like it's just sad overall because, as you said,
he's the Godfather, man.
The time,
he is the Godfather comp controller player. Like when I think, like obviously everybody thinks of Nickmercs and Aiden, but to me they never really played comp like at a high level as a controller player. What they played is W key. They just W keyed in the PAX West lobbies, and that was great. But Issa was doing it in customs, winning games like throughout all of Winter Royale and even further past that. And this guy just continued to dominate. So yeah, it's pretty sad for sure, because this is a icon. To me, an icon in comp Fortnite more than people will put respect on his name.
I mean, it's also that, wave of new people coming through, going by. You were talking about content creation versus comp overall. How many times has the Fortnite audience switched from being full comp to full content, now to full comp? And then, on the next topic, possibly full content coming through, because there's a bunch of people who are coming back.
There's so many. We got Nickmercs back stating that he's been having the most fun time of his, playing on his stream. Courage JD is playing today, right? He tweeted last night. Ninja's obviously been playing. Cypher's been playing forever, but I saw Tim the Tatman possibly trying to get back in on it. XQC tried playing the game again recently. Like Cloaksy, yeah. Like this is serious. Like this is a new time again for Fortnite, where we all thought that it was done for casual content creation. What has drawn these guys back? I don't really quite understand it, to be honest.
Ebb and flow of BRs. Like, why do you still go back to the games you loved before as well, right? It's not even just BRs, but I put the title of Battle Royale in there because I feel like you burn out so much faster in Battle Royales, and there's so many that are offered up overall. So you're hopping between game to game. The one game, though, that I feel like sticks in your brain, no matter what genre it is, has to be Fortnite, just because of building, right? I wish I could have built there. Even playing the game like a year after stopping playing Fortnite, there's still friends of mine who in league or in another shooter are like, man, if I could only place a wall, that were like hard addicted to Fortnite before, right? It leaks out here and there. So maybe it's like, that clap back. And you said, and we're saying, the content creators are coming back. It's a comeback for Fortnite. I would honestly say it's a boost up, because I don't think in numbers we've dwindled overall. It's been kind of improving just because of, everyone transitioning to comp. If there's a content creator base and competitive happening at the same time, then we just have a huge boost up in viewers and like ecosystems for Fortnite overall.
I also find it funny though that this comes like at the end of the season when like all the content is done-ish. They're done adding mythic items, they're done adding POIs, all that stuff is gone. And now they're like, oh yeah, let's come back. Even though the main complaint was always, oh, this game is too stale. They're not adding anything new. Like, even though they're adding a POI every patch or whatever, new rifts coming out everywhere, new items and stuff like that. I don't know. I find that ironic as hell, to be honest.
There's that little thing of also, business. Mm-hmm. I feel like is an underlying tone. Like, some of the top viewed videos on people's channels are event reactions, or
so you're saying like build up the brand again just slightly before the event happens so that you can maximize in the event? Is that what you're saying?
I feel like it's a win-win thing, right? Because nothing's going on in Warzone, which is something that a majority of the streamers are playing. Among Us is dwindling down kind of. So why not, get an extra day of Fort in for the business, and then do the event for the business. And then Warzone comes out on like December 9th again,
I think there's something to be said though, like switching it, kind of conveying it towards comp now, right? Because Nickmercs is out there praising the game, like hard praising the game. And I've been thinking like the way that he's talking about comp in general to people who aren't interested in comp Fortnite, who people who have hated it forever, because that's the majority of the esports community and gaming community at large, right? Nickmercs out here being a preacher for comp Fortnite is so sick to see, and that wouldn't happen if he wasn't playing, on stream every day, because he just wouldn't be talking about it, right? But like, it's really cool. He's like literally hard defending it as a guy who played competitive Gears of War, was a pro in that game before Fortnite. He says it's the best esport ever, right? And that's a mighty bold statement, but he does back it up. And to people like us from within the scene, it's kind of shocking to see that. We all obviously believe in the potential, but like it's wild to see somebody follow that
to
big.
Manifest it, right?
Yeah,
like to actually manifest it and preach it. It's really cool, especially as you're mentioning someone that's that massive, because like it's always been your buddies or like you on the front lines against everyone else. You mention competitive Fortnite. We love Fortnite. Yo, L Dance. Oh, is Drake playing with you guys today? But like, the topics, as soon as Nickmercs mentions it, he goes a bit deeper, talks about REIT, talks about like a little bit of the competitive scene. It's really nice. But like, overall, in terms of, Nickmercs coming back, Courage JD coming back, how is like content creation looking overall in season 4? I'm not sure if you followed or you see the potential of it. Like non-comp based content, is there still a place for it? Or is the path the Nickmercs path only?
Yeah, I think there's a place for it. We obviously Laserbeam's still here. He's been here. There's tons of creators who've been in the space dominating. Honestly, I think that it's difficult to do. Not, all that content that I'm talking about, referring to, is not really Fortnite super related, right? It's Laserbeam being a character and just playing Fortnite in the background, which is hilarious. And that's how most of the other stuff goes, the ones that are really successful, which, Nickmercs plays the game. And yeah, he's hilarious. He's funny, but he's also really, really good at the game. And that's where he kind of thrives. I don't know if that type of content is, because everybody knows what the best of the best is now, right? That's comp. If you're not playing comp, then you trying to show off that you're good in pubs or whatever. That doesn't necessarily super work, because that's how a lot of these content creators' videos are structured, right? It's about, oh, I did the craziest thing in Warzone. I did the craziest thing in a pub stomp, right? That in Fortnite, I think, is dead for the time being.
Well, for the time being, but there's a slight comeback of it, or a push for it right now. The combination of like, this casual pub stompy gameplay, shoving it into competitive. I mean, recently the idea of elim-only tournaments / elim focused stuff, where it's kind of like, a kill race. Like, you don't have to worry about the things, end game tarping. You don't have to worry about stuff that's only exclusive to Fortnite. The vibes of Warzone, the vibes of Classic Fort, just pushing through and killing kids back to back.
Is that video quality? How, like, I have trash video quality right now.
I literally cannot read it. It looks like it looks like a Skyrim tablet or something. Like,
we pulled through. It is Fortnite competitive with a thinking face and Aiden saying, "I think the Fortnite game needs an Aiden / Nickmercs Cup where you only get points for elims."
It's fine on stream, by the way. It's fine on stream.
Okay, good. Okay, good. The reaction to this was mostly from comp players, all being like, "What? Like, why is that an idea? Like, what is this mess?" And I think that is warranted. Here's what I think about this, right? I think that this is such a fundamental misunderstanding about how a competitive Fortnite tournament works and how elims are the thing that actually makes the most elims being rewarded at all creates frustration for a lot of players playing in competitive Fortnite, because the goal is to survive as long as possible. And anything where you're getting W keyed creates variance that is hard to control, right? And sure, Aiden and Nickmercs, yeah, they can W key or whatever, but once they get to the high elo lobbies, all of a sudden this is going to be the dumbest thing to watch ever, and the dumbest thing to play too, right? Because you're just going to get third party at the wazoo. Like, that's how that happens. So this demonstrates to me a misunderstanding of, how this works. If they were to run this tournament, and they can, and I think they should, they need to change the way that the tournament works. They need to take out elo, and they need to make it a bot stomp, right? They need to get rid of a match cap. They need to really think about how to implement this format, because if they did it with just basically tossing in elim points only, it would flop after you get to the high elo lobbies, and it'd be so boring and not fun at all, except if you're Mitro and Mongol and those types of people. But everybody else is not having a good time.
My thing with it is, I'm kind of, if you were the home team, on the away team for it. I agree with the fact that, it needs to be self-contained, or like, I don't know what the word is, like living in itself, where it's not like the Chipotle Cup, right? Last minute, there's a rule change, and now everyone is not expecting things to be this way. They're expecting a Fortnite competitive tournament, and the format is just bad. It needs to be advertised as, like, that kill-only tournament. 100% to be dope if their, maps were changed. It was like that. But even if it was just the format, and people knew a week in advance going into this that, hey, we're only going for kills here, we're only going for elims, I still feel like it could work as a one-off. Yes, things would start to get tough a little bit, but as like a showtime event, like, absolutely not. Just with the format switch,
absolutely not. It won't. If there's elo in the tournament, it just won't, because that we've done this, man. We've done skirmishes and stuff like that. We've done all with formats that are kill based, right? Kill based formats incentivize something that is inherently risky within the game. So, and risky to the point where, you're not, the thing is, you're obviously not getting placement points, so you don't have to worry about that risk too much, but you do have to worry about match limits, whatever. And that's the thing, right? So you want to get towards the end of the game and get as many kills as possible that are safe. And that's always going to be the best way to do it and approach it, even if there was no placement points. But the inherent risk in going to push a team is the issue. That's why it doesn't work in a high elo lobby, in a lobby that's really, really good. It'll work great for the first two games, but the second two game, or the next, they just flop after that. It just becomes a mess that you can't control.
Yeah, we might have something to pull up to show, like, the floppy mess that I feel like
it's like Hype Night. It's like Hype Night. Sorry, I just saw a chat. I just remembered that Hype Night is a thing, right? Nobody cares about it, and that's what happens. That's what happens in Hype Nights. It's just people W king, and you have no control over it. Sure, the best players still do very well, but, like, what do we want? What? What is it?
Yeah. No, you got the point. I think it's just, and that's another thing I think we'll talk about in a bit. But, like, having tournaments structured around that tournament itself, rather than just throwing tournaments into the competitive format, that's just my thing. I just feel like if there was a little bit more work done to make a tournament feel like its own thing, rather than here's another Fortnite tournament,
Yes.
things could work so well.
Please,
And I feel like
if we run this tournament, remove elo, remove match, or not necessarily remove match caps. I don't know how that works, because then everybody would just drop Stark. But maybe that's what they want to go for. Like, maybe that's what they want to go for. Everybody drop Stark, that type of thing. But there needs to be changes, and you really, really need to think about how to actually address an elim-only tournament. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're good. We're gonna pull up some stuff from the Chipotle format, but I think we pretty much nailed the nail on the coffin. We can pull it up real quick if we have it, Robbie. If not, we can. There it is. I'm not sure if you got to watch it or see what unfolded, but basically tried this kind of, Chipotle pushing elims more comparatively to placement.
It was like five placement points total or something. 5
placement points in total, like for winning the game, and everything else was elim based, and things went a little bit sideways.
Yeah, that's I don't understand.
See, my headcanon for it is like this, and we were talking about it too, right? Like putting content creators in the mix, because correct me if I'm wrong, like Courage plays in the Chipotle Cup. There's a bunch of like people who are a little bit more novice. It makes it maybe easier for them, where they don't have to sit in a box for 50 minutes.
Harder for them. That's the point. That's my point. It makes it harder. I'm saying
like from their perspective, like that is the thought process, because people are confused, right?
Okay.
I feel like in my headcanon, that's where they're coming from,
right? It's the old Daquan. Like, I don't want to watch people sit in a box. We need to make them fight each other, right?
Yeah.
That's the idea. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And like if you're gonna watch people lose, like, because ultimately, no matter what the format is, Courage is not beating, like Epic Will in a cup. So if you want to watch Courage sit in boxes the whole time, or maybe try to fight, like, which one would you rather choose, right? For a cup,
I'd rather watch him sit in a box, because then he has the potential of getting elim. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like, if elims are forced, he's gonna get W keyed by X set. Like, it's all, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Facts. That once again, a fundamental misunderstanding of how a game of competitive Fortnite goes. And I've had this discussion so many times. It's like, you have to understand that kills are inherently risky, and there's no way to incentivize them enough to overcome that risk without in-game changes, without Siphon, which was a great one, and even going further. That's the bottom line in that, I think.
Yeah.
All right, you wanna move on? You wanna talk about season 4 in memoriam, I guess, because it's ending. What is it? Tomorrow? Ends tomorrow. We just played a whole season of Marvel Night, bro. That happened. That happened.
Marvel Nights. What did happen, man? Did anything happen at all?
Yeah,
Fortnite based. I just have beef with it, bro. I have beef on this point A.
Okay.
Yes, man.
First off, so you have beef. That means your overall look at the season was negative. Is that
My
what you're
overall
saying?
look at this. Okay, this is a two-parter as well. It's 100% positive, but has a bitter aftertaste. That's it.
Okay. I feel the same way.
Yeah. Let's personal anecdote this, right? So I've actually been spending a lot of time with people who don't play Fortnite primarily. And yesterday got to Discord stream to them, my locker for Fortnite, because I just want to see what skins I had. And they were flabbergasted at the fact that these Marvel skins are in the game. We have DC skins. They were wowed about the Star Wars skins. It made me take a step back as well, right? Even with Nickmercs' like inspirational messages of, damn, we're playing this game and it's doing these insane things. And it's the only game in my entire library on my desktop that has this experience, right? Like, that is sick. And this season was unreplicable in any other game. Yep. Smite is trying it with like Avatar. It's not working out, Smite. I'm sorry. But like, Epic Games is the only home. My thing though is that it's at a big expense, right? And an expense of what I love, which is the Fortnite story / like OG Fortnite stuff, right? Like when you think about Fortnite, you think about their characters, you think about their IP. I feel like that is getting like overtaken with the Marvel stuff.
It's hilarious. Like, I had the same like overall opinion, right? You say, yeah, like, this is a very positive, but it's bittersweet. And your take is completely different than what I'm thinking. Obviously, I don't give a crap about the skins. I don't care. I don't care any about that stuff. I enjoyed the shit out of this season competitively. I really did. We got the pups back. We had decent mobility. We had pretty good POIs. We had trio FNCS. There was good cash cups all around. Formats are getting better. I did enjoy this season competitively. It was really fun to play Arena. Arena was in the best state ever because of the way that people were treating it. Not necessarily a good state, but in terms of what we want from it right now, it's in a great place. I can hop on, play Arena no matter what. I think the bittersweetness comes the fact that we had 100% chest spawn or 100% chest spawn removed. We have mythic POIs still that are seriously slogging on the draw that you can have story wise in a competitive Fortnite game, right? We literally loaded in every single custom finals, every single FNCS finals games. What's happening at Stark? Oh, who's fighting at Doom's Domain? Oh, again, the same exact thing that's happened every single time. Wow, this is crazy. You know, like
I've got the fact sheet here too. Like if we look at the history of DreamHack drawing boards, look at the bars we were dropping, like August, right? August, September, and then or even
July,
the introduction.
July even, yeah.
July even, yeah. And then after that, it became memes. Oh, I wonder what's gonna happen in Stark Industries. I look at the circle in Doom's Domain, and then people are bringing in like this buzzword now. Used to be peace control, but I'm tired of dead side rotates, bro.
Oh, dude,
I'm tired of it.
I'm so sick of dead side rotates.
That was the next thing. Dead side rotates, man.
It always gets created. There's always something that gets created and it just like goes crazy within the community. I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about we do pre-shows on DreamHack and we do a drawing board segment pretty much before the final starts. And every single time, for any of the casters, pretty much this season, it was drawing a circle around Stark Industries, drawing a circle around Doom's Domain, and then like trying to find some other place. It was just a mess. And that's what I'm talking about. That's why it's bittersweet to me, because there's things like this that, really, again, I said they draw on and kind of diminish the rest of the storytelling aspect that you can find in a game of competitive Fortnite.
It's game identity for me, man. Like it's game identity. Like man, like I get it, it's really sick with Marvel, but like it just doesn't feel like Fortnite for me, right? Like even in expectations, like I know it's a little bit far from competitive, but item shops and stuff, like it just became what's the next hero? And now it's Venom, now it's Deadpool, now it's this. As cool as that stuff is, I'm a dude for game identity.
We live in different worlds, bro.
We do, man. We actually do. It's a more casual perspective for me, but it is what it is. Diving into like a little bit of the competitive side though. In terms of like how the FNCS went, in terms of like playing competitively this season, looking at results, I feel like Arena was on the map more so than any other season before. Maybe just the introduction of it. And the FNCS had like a lot of accolades that ended up happening inside of itself.
What are you talking about? Like, what are you referring to? I don't see where you're going here.
I was trying to like flesh out like the point on the page, but what I was saying is that like people.
My bad. I completely missed that. No, I don't know what this point means, bro.
So what I'm saying is like in terms of like the way people like received the overall things that happened in this season. Yeah, there was more like history made. Yes, comparatively to before. Okay, and like an ongoing story that actually has pages now in the book. Examples is King's run overall in Brazil, Marzo W and his story in Arena, people somewhat caring about Arena points earlier in the season, people caring about the grind early in the morning. There's constant streamers now streaming Arena over and over again. FNCS, people being interested in who's winning how many games. Zayt and Saf now having their legacy of dropping and starting off days with 2 wins in grand finals. Yep. We have like even though we're talking about Starks and Dooms, the way Mongraal was just finessing his entire.
What happened? Why did we miss that in season 3? Is it because FNCS was so shortened, or was it because there was better promotion, like we've been talking about before? But like basically when we started FNTASIA, talking about like how we can work things, how all the casters, how the production, how broadcast, how the community all treats these things. Is it that, or is it just simply trios, or what?
I think it's integrity, bro. I just think like we're back on track and there's less distractions, right? Like the competitive stuff you're like right now, because you're asking me what went wrong in season 3. Another 4-syllable phrase, caddy launcher, right? You're asking me about season 2. I felt like we had a little bit of premise over there, but there was stuff that was distracting a little bit in those seasons, and that's why the story couldn't get, laid out completely.
Oh yeah,
but I feel like
about season 3. Oh man,
yeah,
I'm thinking back to season 3. I don't even want to talk about what I'm thinking about right now. But anyways,
but this season was very good in the fact of like,
it was
being able to focus on that story.
It was. It really, really, really was. That's why I enjoyed it so much. Frankly, that's why I enjoyed it so much. So yeah, what I mentioned chess spawn, right? How do we feel about it now? Because remember our outcry at the beginning, obviously we're still negative about it, but I think it was drastically different than what we expected we expected it to go, right? It's not the mech. It's not any of that.
I don't know, man. Okay, it's obviously not the mech. It's obviously not something permanently game ending, but I feel like it's temporarily game ending. Like personally, at least, I have stopped playing the game for the day, being bullshitted on by not getting a chest.
Yeah,
I've had games ended out of my control because there's literally like 50-50 situations. Don't put yourself in a 50-50 situation, Shio. Like sometimes you can't, bro. Sometimes you're in the business, right? And that's an option you should have. That's not there. Like I just feel like people got jaded.
Yeah,
we were talking. It looked like it's not changing. I'm not even sure if it has changed because patch notes XD. But like it's people I think still would prefer the 100%, bro.
Yeah, I think I think we actually talked about it in the very first episode when we talked about 50% chest spawn was that like it's such a change that's hard to continue outcrying about because it just is there. It's not something that is like glaring in your face always, like the mech, for example, but it's still clearly an unpopular change, and it's clearly not a good change with so many situations, so many examples of how it would be better when you're playing in comp with 100% chest spawn. So
on the topic though, topic, because this is I think is very unique to Fortnite. I just it clicked in me. This is the game where like there's so many changes that we end up knowing are permanent, but there are changes that we know can be adjusted and are test type changes, right? Maybe sometimes an introduction of a gun, a POI gets switched up slightly and there's a hot fix.
Yep.
I would love, I'm trying to find a middle ground for patch notes. I would just love to know if something was a permanent change and something was a fixable change. Like, hey, here's the chest spawns. It will be there the whole season. You can now,
you're asking for too much. Like,
ask for too much. All right. Well, middle ground.
Even if we had patch notes, like nobody does that. No game developer does that. Why? Because that paints them into a corner where they can't. Like they have to stay mobile. They have to stay fluid in terms of the things that they can do. That's always what they want to do. So I literally think you're asking for too much. I know we all as a community want that, but I just think we're asking for too much. This season also removed double movement binds. That was rough. That was rough because we the last episode of FNTASIA we did talk about double movement binds and how to fix it. And all the ideas about why things are not happening, specifically about macroing double movement binds. But yeah, it's gone, and macros are still here. Macros are still here.
Yeah. I don't know. It sucks when, especially for all those people, including yourself, who work for that, adjusted to that.
Thank you.
And then because of like the bad apples or just because of the situation, I mean, do you think it was the best thing to do?
What, like remove double move?
Like just removing the binds. Was that the best option that would okay.
No, of course not.
Is it the best option that pleases all sides of the party? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the best option would have just to let it to be clear about what is allowed and what's not allowed. That's basically it. And then start to take some action. They don't have to be, mass ban waves or anything like that. But like some warnings, something like that. I don't know.
That seems like work, bro.
I know it's work, but we need.
So for one party, they're losing out on something right there, right? And that's the epic side of things. They can either press a button or put in man hours to regulate who's doing this, right? So they press the button.
I would rather have the status quo, though. I would have rather had the status quo. Like, quite frankly,
I agree.
Just straight up. Sure, that is encouraging a whole slew of things, but we're still encouraging macroing. So, well, we're not encouraging anymore because there's nothing that's like oblivious, like obvious, except like maybe chess pickups or whatever. I haven't even looked into that stuff yet, but that I don't know. It's a band-aid fix that we all were getting really, really happy with double movement binds. I don't know. Anyways, it has.
Yeah, even
Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying, even playing field for me now, man. I didn't adjust, and now we're back to square one. So I'm chilling.
Screw you, bro.
PGs, man. PGs.
Let's talk about the evolution of this though, because they did fix something with that patch that removed double movement binds. They fixed the lock input method, and now all of a sudden we have cracked out kids. I don't know how old Martaz is, but in any case, my man is using an analog stick next to his keyboard to have 360 movement. This is unbelievable. And honestly, okay, very initial thoughts on, is this actually a thing that people should do? I say yes.
I say I don't care.
What?
I think it's very cool, man. But I see this stuff come up, every couple months. There's some cracked kid doing some insane things, and I never hear about him. He never does anything again. That's like a top 10 type beat.
All right, this brings me back to the conversation we had with Calc when he was on, where he was like, 360 movement is a skill gap that keyboard and mouse people just can't achieve, and apparently you can. So I will say that this type of movement is a major reason why controller players do well, and if keyboard and mouse players are able to actually close that gap with something like this, then this is a whole new level of improvement that's available to them now. All right, moving in your tarp with this is insane, and if you are on keyboard and mouse doing it, I think that this is something people should actually go for, like legitimately. I think it's going to take time. I don't think we're going to see somebody start winning FNCSs with it for maybe even a year, but it is something that I think we will see in the future.
So if someone's not going to be winning for about a year or for a long time, I just feel like without it, they'd have the same chances in improvement over that certain time period. Like, this is not going to be the thing that puts you over the edge or fixes your mistakes.
I think eventually, I think something like this, if it continues to be allowed, if you're not doing it, you're going to be at a disadvantage, just like macroing double movement binds.
I mean, obviously, yes, but I also just feel like in total, understanding the game changes, how often it's kind of, updated overall. If you just keep up top on the meta, I guess, let's switch over here. For me, Martaz is patient 0. I'm going to be looking at his placements as of right now, and then I'm going to be looking at what happens next season, and the season after that, and the season after that. Let's chart a course, and if this man sticks through with this input, how long does it take the average good player to be able to bump up? Or what effect is this? He's patient 0 for me.
I don't think you're going to see placements come out of Martaz because he's using this. That's not what I was saying, right?
And what is the point in using this then? If it's not saying
because Martaz is not the biggest comp grinder. He's never been. So using him as patient 0, like, sure, he might be the first like person to really do this on a high level, but like Martaz is always like, I'm trying to fly a plane, I guess, in this improvement, but no, like
if it's not going to be used in total for people's comp improvement, I don't care.
It will. And it's not going to be an instant boost or anything like that. It's not going to create, but it is one of those things that, like, for example, you learn how to piece control. Okay. You learn how to piece control, and sure, it's not winning you tournaments right off the bat, but then everybody starts to learn how to piece control. And now, a year later, after the box fight meta started, if you don't know how to piece control, you're at a huge disadvantage. You are trying to win a tournament with a massive disadvantage. It's like a handicap, straight up. So I think that this eventually can be a handicap input, like that.
Piece control and like gameplay mechanics are an in-game version that anyone can pick up free of charge. widespread across the globe. Like Timothy Al-Husabi from Middle East knows about peace control. Timothy Al-Husabi is not going to pick up this joystick keyboard because it's not made in that region. And he also has to buy it, but he's playing a free-to-play game, right?
I'm not talking about Timothy, bro. Al-Husabi. I don't care about him,
thank
bro.
you.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't care. I'm talking about reach. I'm talking about
peace control, the building meta, it reaches that far. It reaches to it's available for everyone.
Now I say I don't care. All I care about is the top of the top, right? Like when we talk about creme de la creme, like the best players. These guys, if they can take advantage of this, well, I don't know if they can yet. And maybe it's just Martos who's as cracked as this. And maybe it's actually freaking useless because they lose a whole different element of the game because they do it. That I'm not sure of yet. But what I am sure of is that 360 movement, unlocking it on keyboard and mouse, that's massive. That's massive. And it would be a crazy, crazy addition to anybody's game if they can grab it.
I mean, you'll have that downtime. So I want to see pros 100%. Take the risk. Take that 2-3 months of downtime to learn it, affect their placements, and then see where they come. Because obviously it'll be like a hyperbolic time chamber, right? Like you'll come out a completely different being.
Yes,
I'm with you on that one. I just don't think it's going to be as widespread.
Where do you stand on the controller taking over the world discussion we have with Calc at this point in time?
At this point in time, an update on controllers taking over the world.
Yeah.
I think they're taking over territories.
Movement in mind, I guess.
I think they're going to take over territories, but I doubt they can take over the world. Because
I just think the culture's not there yet.
I just feel like in terms of taking over, you can't just be on top once. Like you have to hold that crown, and you have to
this is a good segue, but haven't they been holding the crown for seasons now, especially in NA?
And but you asked about the world.
Coop, Miro,
yeah, but that's the thing. I just don't think. I think there's regions in the world where it's very hard to take over specific regions. You're asking me about the world. That's for me global domination. It has to be every region. I feel like EU will hold out. I feel like OCE maybe slightly holds out here or there at some points.
So
NA West and NA East, I feel like are dominated.
Cool. That's so cool that there's actually literal holdouts in specific regions.
Yeah,
like their inputs.
That's my only caveat, because NA, you're right, it's ridden with the controller players, bro. It's everywhere, and it's on top of.
It will be raps. It's funny because we were like, oh yeah, like back in the day, we're like, oh, one controller player in the top 10. No, not even top 10, like top 50. Like, holy crap, this is crazy. And now everybody's saying, yeah, controller's gonna be crazy, even before all the nerfs and whatever. And all of a sudden, we have multiple winners in a row in major events, and even all the minor events too. There's controller players involved, like
cross regionally too.
Everybody who said that sort of stuff is proved right in my mind, with only a year passed since those types of statements. And yeah, I'm patting my own back right now, but like it just happened. It did happen.
I just feel like if you're gonna make the claim that they take over the world, hold on to that claim. And I don't think the claim will come true, because there will always be one or two regions where the takeover is very difficult.
I agree with that. Like in EU, we're not seeing any controller players. Outside of like the Wolfies rise for a bit, the CRR rise for a bit, and then now there's like Aimsons who's doing okay. There's definitely some in the top bit, but a lot of the big EU players that were really starting to shine on controller, outside of Hardfind, who did very well this season, went over to console. Like a lot of them went over to console.
That's the thing, though. So this could all shake up depending on what happens next season. Like,
true.
I feel like one of the reasons it slowed down is because a lot of even in NA and NA West, even though it's so rampant here, so many good controller players went over to console. Assault, the man who won lobbies with a controller before it was a thing. Didn't he win the FNCS in console? I don't even know, but maybe I think he did. But it's like when these guys come back,
bro.
like I feel like it'll be amplified. Like the takeover will be amplified. I completely forgot about that, but depends on what happens next season.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Move on. I don't know if I want to revisit FNCS. Let's do it. Let's take a brief look at what happened this season. FNCS, since we're doing the season 4 recap type of stuff. Let's talk about it. The NA winners was Reverse 2K, Day, and Miro. And so the question is, where are they now? What's the story? What was the story for them in reality? To me, I see Reverse 2K, who's really been shut out of the top levels of conversations since squads. Like, nobody has been putting respect on his name. He deserves the respect on his name for sure, and this proves it. Bring in 2 upstarts that people did not really have on their radar unless you're really paying attention, Day and Miro, together, and just dominating this season. They dominated this season. And then in the finals, they performed their best out of all the weeks. They really peaked at the perfect time. And they had a plan that nobody else really did, right? They came into grand finals without a drop spot. They found a drop spot, and they won without being Mythic POI.
It's the dream storyline, but I got a question for you, Ballatw. Do you have a shower curtain or a shower door?
I have a shower curtain that will be replaced by a shower door.
Okay, so I recently got a shower door installed on many washrooms in my living quarters, and they're all kind of magnetic. Where you open them, they're weighted or whatever. They close back, right? I feel like Reverse Day and Miro, their overall performance, the hype around them, coming a few weeks after FNCS, that door was definitely opened and then left, and it kind of shut. And I feel like now we're kind of back to square one on their reps, like
really?
past FNCS. Yes, maybe it's just my vibe. Not sure if anyone resonates, but although my respect level has been elevated, maybe it's because in the minor events or just overall we haven't seen anything repeat and completely shut down. Maybe it's because Day and Miro also broke up as a duo and started playing with a few other people. I just feel like that shower door is keeping the humidity in. It's definitely warming up the place.
Yeah, I can see that. They did win another tournament like directly after FNCS, by the way.
True.
I guess you're right. When I think about what I'm saying right now, and granted, I'm not saying too much right now because it's off season, but no, when we talk next season, when we talk in season 5 FNCS, I'm pretty confident that we're gonna be talking about Reverse 2K. We're gonna be talking about Day. We're gonna be talking about Miro for sure.
Yeah,
I think they'll be in those conversations with Coop and people like that were like at the beginning of this season we were talking about. I think that people like Coop probably not necessarily going to be in the conversation too much anymore, but still, I think the tides shift, and I really do think that these guys got the respect that they deserved at the end of the season.
I feel like they deserve like household, like winning an FNCS, man. I want it to mean like, oh, who do you think about for Benji Fishy, Reverse 2K? I wanted to be kind of like,
does it really mean that
kind of like that? It doesn't. The thing is, it doesn't, and it never will. And I'm not sure if
but what I'm saying is, that's the question I'm trying to get at. I don't think it should, right?
Should it? Okay.
No, because we're not
in
that. We're not in the the glory days of these types of we're not in. It's not a major. It's not.
But it's
it kind of feels like it's supposed to. But yeah, we had COVID.
What was? I get it. I get it. I understand. But I'm just frustrated because it's like, this is like the bang. Like that was the last event, somewhat major of the season.
Please cross your fingers. Please. Come on, man.
Well, I don't think there's gonna be an FNCS in December, as the 2-week thing. But last FNCS of the year, right? Like, it's just
this does not have. You're trying to reach for a state of this is Mr. Savage winning DreamHack Anaheim when it's not. Right? That's what you're trying to get at.
Facts. Yeah.
It's just not. And unfortunately, here's the thing. Why is it not that? Because there's still a lot of money, but it's just split between so many different regions. So many people are pulled in millions of different directions that it can't be, because we don't have that cohesive boom. Everybody cares about this one thing. Right.
And then 5 hours later, there's another tournament, right?
Exactly. we're on to NA West. Great. NA East ends, and we're on to all the viewing parties are on to NA West. Like, we're not interviewing the guys. We don't give a crap what Reverse 2K has to say. We don't give a crap what Day has to say. We just move on to NOS because they have live games going on. And so, yeah, I think that the importance of an FNCS lies in the structure of it and how it's all just piled on top of each other. Like it's just bleh, it's freaking mashed potatoes, you know?
Yeah.
All right. EU was won by Mongraal, Metro, and Tayson. If you want to pull that up. Expected? Let me rephrase that. Expected?
Yes.
Yeah?
Absolutely. In terms of like, I'll give it to you from like the perspective of like everyone who was trying to predict stuff. Like everyone wanted to pick this team.
True.
Every single person, like even in the community, like you're looking at polls and stuff at the time, these guys were on top. And I think it was also due to the fact that they had no friction in their gameplay ever, even when contested. Like there was, I just felt like it was a smooth ride for them. Talking about Mongraal, Metro, Tayson, I just had this hot take of I feel like they had the least friction overall compared to like on this spot across the globe. Even I understand people were at start, like people were landing on them. People like in terms of their overall like story, I just feel like they dominated. Like there was never a moment where they were down bad. Yes, they might have disengaged sometimes. Yes, they might have gone away, but things worked out for them because of how good they were, and they had the least friction at the spot. People were confident in saying they would win, and they won.
I think that week one was the week with the most friction for them, right? Where it was like completely crazy with Jaspe, Marine, and them dropping on top of him, right? Week one was bad. But the thing that they did that everybody else didn't, and this might be because of the nature of Stark, was they never griefed each other, right? It was just, I win the spot or I lose the spot. And then I get to play the game. Almost always. There was a few games where it was like, you know, they're both playing as duos or whatever. They're kind of shambles, but they went on and played the game. They didn't sit inside the vault and fight for 2 hours. They went on and played the game. So even when they were getting contested and it was bad contestations where they were losing in week number 1, they were still top 10. Both of those teams in week 1 or whatever were both top 10. Like that's significant compared to Doom's Domain, where Benji, Aqua, whatever, whenever they would fight, if it was a clean fight, sure, they'd go on to play the game and they'd do bad, right? And if it wasn't a clean fight, they would not be playing the game. It'd just be over. Like they're just sitting in Dooms, they're running around as a solo with no mats or whatever. So there was it was like a different attitude. It was Dooms was griefing, Stark was just landing. They were just fighting. That's how I kind of felt about it.
Confidence building wise, like past week 1, like I swear there was a week where Marine ended up like bottom 30 and lost 6 out of 6 games or 12 out of 12, right? Or whatever it was. Like those factors, like I just feel like no other team had that, right? Like that was the frictionless type of gameplay, and over time it improved. The fights got faster. They won more. Mongraal clutching up 1v3, Tayson clutching up 1v2. Like it just happened over and over. For in the grands, it was like, don't touch these guys. You're gonna lose the game. Like
that's why everybody was typing, "Oh, they were uncontested for however many games in grand finals." It's like, yeah, they freaking worked at it. Like you have to remember throughout the entire season, they worked at it. So I think that's what we always have to think about when we try to put whatever dashes or question marks on things like this. What was the story though for these guys? To me, this was. Actually, let me just ask the question straight up. Does Metro's already GOAT status? Is he, because he won a freaking FNCS, and everybody before this FNCS was like, oh, Metro sucks now. Like, he's trash. Like, you know, that was straight up what people were saying, myself included. Metro was not doing well. Is he returned to the GOAT in EU?
There's a section. Okay.
Is there a second GOAT now where Mongraal, because Mongraal has won an FNCS too with the same, like, it's kind of crazy.
I feel like GOAT number 1 status for me goes to Mongraal. I feel like the decisions made in duos / solo performances from Metro's side put a little bit too much of a taint. And in terms of like, you know, GOAT status, or in terms of like, you know, the reputation, a fraction of the legacy is uplifted in trios I just want to see how it transfers over into the other modes, because like to affect your overall status, it takes time. It doesn't take one event. It takes a culmination of progress in different modes for Fortnite, is what I've learned in terms of who is the best of all time. You can't answer that off of one event. You have to answer it off of a multiple timeline period. So
the crazy part too is that we're talking about these two guys, yet their third teammate, Tayson, won back-to-back FNTASIAs. That's insane, bro.
Yeah,
that's insane. This might have been the most successful super team in all of Fortnite history.
I'm gonna let that one air there for a bit.
Yeah. You think about what were the past super teams like? Mongraal, Benji.
Yeah,
they failed in finals.
Zaysaf Bizzle at one point.
Zaysaf Bizzle failed within 2 weeks. They won one event and they were like, "Yeah, fuck this. We don't like this team." Zaysaf and Stretch, like, they tried. I'm trying to think even more, but even more super teams. But yeah, it's like Wolfie's or what happened to Benji Savage Lecce? They were contested grand finals.
Oh yeah, say less.
And they had no plan. Their plan when they were uncontested was bad too. They were just so focused and wrapped up in this idea, this grief fight at Doom's Domain, that they didn't have anything. And once Sako and them got banned, it was just like, what do I do now? And then everybody senses that weakness, and they're like, yeah, fuck this, we in there in grand finals. You know what I'm saying?
Business. Yeah. We're talking about GOAT status super teams. There is one on another server. The last one we'll look at for FNCS. NA West, if you can pull that one up, was Epic, Arkhram, and Rex. And these guys didn't just win, they never lost.
Look, I didn't even I did not pay attention to West this season. I had some shit going on. I really didn't pay attention to West this season. And I just now am registering the fact that this was this was obviously I saw them play in certain tournaments, but I was just like, yeah, okay, Arkhram, Rex, and Epic Whale, they're playing. Yeah, cool. Arkhram, Rex, and Epic Whale played together, bro. God damn. And they absolutely shit on the region. They just did. It wasn't even close every week.
I remember when we were talking about, Scented and Edgy leaving the region. What does this mean? There's a gap to fill, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going to say no one saw this team coming, but this team came, bro. And, came hard. Jesus Christ.
What's the story for them? I'll leave this one to you. What is the, when you try to find a narrative for this team outside, we already talked about super team, but this is Arkhram joining forces with Epic Whale and the two big bosses of NA West.
Yeah, for me, it's I actually don't know the deep dive story. The only reason I actually stopped paying attention to West is because I like stories that have a middle and an ending, as well as the beginning. For me, every time tuning in, I feel like I was at the end. It was it wasn't only that these guys were winning, but every open qual, every time they were ahead, the lead, bro. The lead they had.
True, I forgot about the 12 game stuff.
The lead they had overall in every tournament they played was so.
But you have to remember, there was no broadcast. There was nothing. There was no coverage of this. Seriously.
Yeah.
I don't know where you watch normally, but to me, when I tune in, yeah.
It's depressing, true. But yeah.
That's the thing, right? You can't be in that excitement. If you were there, trust me, we've casted Arkhram shit on West before. We've done that. We've been there, done that, and it is so much fun to watch every time. We're back when DreamHack was 8 games. It's just so much fun to watch, no matter what. There are always stakes that you can find. There are always narratives that you can find. Sure, they might have outlapped everybody every single week where the lead was so big that you didn't even see a possibility for anybody, but it was still there. And the domination factor, right? The Bulls going 72-10, or I guess I don't even remember exactly which team, but that is still fun to watch. Do you even know what I'm talking about?
This is football. This is basketball. You said Bulls, but you said 72 to 10.
Golden State Warriors went like crazy with their standings.
There was a basketball team that went 72 to 10.
Yes, bro. And that's so much fun to watch. And
That's
that is what the
insane.
equivalent, that's what Arkhram, Epic Will, and Rex did on West. And we should have been paying attention to it. And I think we did a disservice by not paying attention to it. That is my point. And
Facts.
sure, going into the VODs is not fun, but bro, like this is domination. And we missed it. We missed it completely as a community, and I feel awful for that.
Yeah. Wrap that one up there. I'm still I'm just reading chat, man. You said 70 to 10, and I heard the team name, but you only ever see those score lines in
Chicago
football.
Bulls.
I get I understand Chicago Bulls 100%. I know who they are, right? Like one of the best teams of all time. All right, we're rolling with it. You know, Jordan, we in the business. Like, I understand.
Thank you. All right, cool.
I understand. I understand. I know you're waiting for that name, but when you say 72 to 10, I only ever see those score lines in football. I never see them anywhere else. So that was the association.
Oh, okay. It's
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. I understand.
Like,
all right. Anyways,
yeah. Okay.
Let's
Moving
stop
past
embarrassing.
that.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
please.
Okay.
You're
Please.
a Toronto Raptors fan. I understand.
Okay.
Season 4 is over. We're done with season 4. Let's talk about season 5. Potential for season 5. I'm pretty excited to talk about stuff like this because if you could click through on that so we can get the image. This is Chap's wish list. Okay, you can. It's not rescale. Perfect. The season 5 wish list. Can you, Robbie? Can you maybe just try? Try for us. Take the time. Yeah, my boy. We're moving into season 5, and we're obviously hoping for a lot of things. Shio, Chat has done this every single season, and it feels like the list is the longest it has ever been.
Yeah, and it's sectioned. It's sectioned off in 2 sides, which is something I actually like a lot. I feel like we haven't done that enough in terms of having it all the attention there in one post. It's always been like drizzles of what we want for comp overall, and then one random person making a casual post about what the season could be next season. But having it all in one place, I feel like brought everyone together in terms of introducing this list before we put it on, and hyping it up a bit before we put it up. But here is the kind of casual / content side of things. I would say more content. I don't think this is, so much more casual.
No, this is just quality of life almost for a lot of this. Like,
you want to rock through it?
All right. FOB slider, 100% chest spawn. Here's what I want to do. I want you to read through it. I want you to see if there's anything you disagree with. If there's nothing that we don't disagree, like, then
we move on.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got the FOB slider. We got 100% chest spawn rate. No shockwaves. No crash pads. Plus launch pads. Pause.
Okay. Pause.
Pause here. What are your thoughts / takes on launches versus crashes and shocks meta?
Okay. I like it better. Crashes and shockwaves. I personally believe, and don't take this as fact, but I personally believe it causes a lot of lag in the servers. I'd like to see them gone. Regardless, they're grief mobility. Irregardless of lag or not, they are 100% grief mobility. This is not an opinion. They are grief mobility, and I don't like grief mobility. When it breaks through multiple boxes that is completely uncontrolled, I just don't like that. I really don't. Shockwaves have actually, we didn't talk about it when we were talking about our impressions on season 4, but shockwaves have completely ruined the height take thing. I mean, we've had 2 seasons with shockwaves now. Once was just the caddy launcher, which was even worse, but it's boring end games, especially in trios. Even in solos, even worse. Like, the height just goes back and forth. In trios, it's like nobody's taking height because everybody has shockwaves to fight back, so you're just going to grief each other. It's boring. I don't like shockwaves. Crash pads is the same type of way. You just get into a box. It's boring. Okay.
My main takeaway for this, untrackability, if that's even a word. And that's the added portion of why, some of these end games are just disgusting in terms of what the heck is going on. You can't track where the player's coming from, what their story was for going for height. And in fights, especially with crashes and shockwaves, there is no telltale sign someone's coming for you. Stuff just happens. You have no time to react. With launch pads, you can sometimes, most of the time, hear what's going on. And people flying around, especially in those mid-game fights. I feel like as a disengage tool, as a tool overall, it is more clear. Clarity was the word I'm looking for. Thank you. So that wave there. Okay, moving past that. Plus stack shotgun, minus combat shotgun. Okay, save the world movement in BR. Disable pre-edits. reconnect to a match, one button edit reset, a shakedown bind / cancel bind. Just to add, I like the cancel bind. I'm not sure why we don't have that. I think we don't even need a shakedown bind. If we had a cancel bind, that'd be sick. Patch notes, 100%. The map needs more metal. Pause on that one. What are your thoughts on the map needing more metal?
I don't mind where we're at right now. Like, sure, I feel bad. I feel like everybody should be able to get to max metal, but I don't think that it nerfs spots like overly.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like you could always get metal somewhere. You could always do it somewhere, and your spot is going, your rotation is going to increase whatever. You know, I think like, yes, it's good, but it's not 100% chest spawn type of I want this back type of thing.
I would just add in over there, you know, buff log gem. I just feel like it's a very underrated spot, but let's move past that one. Keyboard and mouse building, editing sensitivity. I would just want this more than anything else on the list, honestly. Then we have custom crosshairs. Stop changing the fucking colors every patch. Can't see shit in Storm. Please fix. 100 player creative lobbies and bigger maps. That would actually be a game changer. But
impossible.
Yeah. Custom lobby customization / merge with creative. I will actually change my answer to that being the most thing that I want on the list. Let's put that one there. Arena fill. I actually change my answer to I want that to be the thing I want the most on the list. Macro detection. Controller scope sensitivity. I didn't know they didn't have it. That's wild.
Yeah, they haven't had it forever. Yeah.
I mean, that's why keyboard and mouse is better, I guess. Remove non-flares, invincibility. Bring back the block or some iteration of it. I actually, man, the connection that creative had to Battle Royale via the block was sick. Like that was actually sick. You know,
did you ever go into a block and create a block? Like,
yes.
You tried to get your map? No, of course not, bro. Like
what? I tried, bro. We tried. It was very scuffed. It was very, very scuffed.
I'm chilling on the look. I like the idea of the block, but what I think probably it just took too much and wasn't worth the effort for Epic. Like it was cool, but like it didn't actually gain them anything. Nobody went to the block. Nobody specifically logged onto the game to go be like, oh, what's at the block? Outside of, like a few comp players. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, I'm glad you saved yourself with a few comp players. I was about to name a few comp players. That was our favorite part of Tuesday mornings. Is that football block back? That football stadium. My God, best block. They only ever had it twice in the game. Past that though, proximity chat. Pause. What are your thoughts?
Oh, pause. Yo, that'd be hilarious. I would love to see proximity chat. But yeah.
Yeah. And then ability to buy back teammates whose card expired. So I'm surprised that I haven't seen more of this asked over time. The reboot mechanic in general.
This is a Cypher PK Nickmercs grabber.
Yeah. I feel like this is better than having cards in the game at all, honestly. If you reduce card time and added a buyback feature, it'd be great, man.
Nope.
Why?
I love the clutch factor and timing factor on cards. I love it. I think it's so cool. I think it's very cool. In comp, I love it a lot. What is that? What is his face? Like I really like it.
I would give that up in a second to be bought back. I'd die a lot. You feel me?
But that's so boring. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you die. Okay, you get to be bought back. What's the risk in that? Where's the cost? Like
the cost is like literally the cost of the buyback. Like, what would that cost be?
But it's Fortnite. You just get an impact and it's over. You're back in. Like,
okay, but let's think about it this way, right? From a perspective of what are some of the problems in just lobbies? Like, put comp to the side for just for the sake of the conversation. Like, you would have more filled out lobbies in general.
Okay, in a casual lobby, sure, I like it, but
even in arena, lobbies. Like it would be buffed up. Like you'd have more. Like this is why the Warzone experience is really good. Why there's so many people alive 24/7 in terms of like.
But you're trying to fix pacing, right?
Yeah, that's what it is.
You're trying to fix pacing when we clearly have good pacing in comp lobbies.
In arena,
and I know you're asking me, no, but we've shown that we can achieve good pacing because we influence the player behavior in certain ways through the tournament structure, the tournament format.
Okay,
you see what I'm saying? So you're removing an aspect that clutching the card, whatever, like there's that risk, there's the cost of trying to camp or whatever, all that shit. I don't like camping cards, but you're removing that in exchange for something where you can just spend some mats or spend some resources on buying back a teammate so that he comes back to you. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe,
so you have a fuller game. You have
here's what I say.
More content.
Maybe it could be nice because maybe then the off spawn fight. Oh, there's so many implications though. The off spawn fights like don't matter, or do they?
Like
you win the fight, you win the POI, you leave, you disengage, you go somewhere else, or you go start griefing again. Like I don't know.
No, so here's my thing. You're talking about there's still a clutch factor involved, and I know this is the one-off point we're hanging off on, but leaving and having to farm up all those materials by yourself after the disengage, which you already clutched, farming in a place where there's now more people alive, trying to farm as well, it's going to be clutch, and then walking back into a POI where there's more people alive still and getting the reboot off.
Yeah,
like the factor's there.
Okay, that sounds great. Here's what I'd say. I would love to see what chat's actual idea about this is.
Okay, facts.
Because this is nothing. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like you just explained something that I didn't even think about. I was like, what? Like, so yeah. All right, can we go to the next page real quick, Robbie? Let's wrap this chat list up and talk about our wish lists. But yeah, if you can bring up the next chat page, there are some good ideas in here.
Yeah. Okay. All right, comp wish list. It's up. Here we go. Start it off. 30+ day heads up or a month heads up on all upcoming events. Pause. I don't think that's enough. I feel like there should be more. On pause? Okay.
Yep.
Region lock all custom lobby formats. No region lock on all cash cup formats.
Pause.
Okay.
We're going to do this again, huh? We're going to do this again. I still enjoy seeing Hen in DreamHack solos. It's really fun.
It makes every DreamHack solos such a mashed potato fest, as you say. It's just mashed potatoes every
That's
DreamHack.
Because it's solos, not because.
So you think duos didn't change much?
EUs. What?
Like you think duos changed the game then? Because we still saw EU duos. We still saw people on opens overall.
So much better.
DreamHack trios. Oh, January.
Look. Okay. I think we can agree. I think you might have changed your tune on non-region locking all cash cup formats. Maybe. No.
Yeah, I changed my tune on that. Cash cups.
Okay.
Let's roll. But when it comes to custom lobbies, when it comes to tournaments, like, let's pause. Like let's develop the scenes. Like. It just becomes mashed potatoes, man.
Here is a better solution. How about we have more custom lobby formats in the earlier stage of the qualifiers? Then we'd weed out the people who are coming from other regions. And if they qual all the way to the finals by playing multiple heats of actual customs, then it's fine.
No, I'm hard foot downing on it, man. Like
no, because
I need what?
The problem isn't the region. The problem isn't the region lock. The problem is the cash cup format adds the semifinals qualifiers to the finals. That's the bigger problem.
Slow that down. Hold up. Say that again.
Okay,
what's the bigger problem?
The fact that we have opens. We're talking about DreamHack because this is the only tournament that is unregion locked. For finals. We're talking about DreamHack. So opens goes into semis, still a cash cup format, and then it goes into finals. Okay, those two first stages are the bigger problem than region locking. The fact that we don't have a semifinals of custom stage formats means that we have more EU players playing into the finals. The game is not really playable at high ping.
So you're saying like a heat-based thing in semis where we have like 4 heats of customs. Okay. Mm-hmm. Just to clarify.
All of a sudden, yeah, sure, we have a good percentage of the EU players who participated in the DreamHack Opens qualifying for semis. But you have a significantly more percentage of them dropping out from semis to finals than there are now currently, because right now it's like that region's the freaking best at matchmaking steps.
Yeah, I would still say, even though that's a fix, we have to take a stand somewhere on it and have clear guidelines. I don't see Taps playing in the LCS, bro. I shouldn't see Benji Fishy in my NA Grand Finals. Oh, you know what? If we want to have it this way, then just rename it to DreamHack. and have an asterisk or somewhere in the rule book that says on this week we'll play on NA East servers, on this week we'll play on NA West.
You are
name
swaying
it DreamHack, and it's 3 times a month. Like, because I'm tired of it being called DreamHack NA, DreamHack NA West, DreamHack EU, when it's a little bit mashed potatoey. It's literally just DreamHack every time. The vibes are kind of the same.
There's no gravy. There's no cranberry sauce. It's all messed up. I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
Okay, cool.
No, you're swaying me. The LCS argument was good. That was a good one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like that's just the thing. Like I'll see caps in Rift Rivals. I'll see caps in Worlds, but I don't want to see him when I'm trying to watch LCS.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Cool.
Specifically because DreamHack has multiple regions.
Yes.
I still do want a tournament that is, anybody can play type of thing.
I agree.
I want that.
Because that's so good. Because we love mashed potatoes.
I
just don't want to have them every night.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yes,
if there's multiple regions, there you go.
All right, continue. Unpause.
Yeah, shake hands. Nice. Daily cups. Pause. I
really
don't think we need daily cups, man. Practice should be able to be had / the tone of game should be able to be had without a price tag every single day. And I feel like daily cups sometimes takes away from the competition that we have on the weekends, or those big events, or those third-party cups that end up happening. With daily cups as well, third-party tournaments and cups are that much harder to plan around. And extra stuff like this is that much harder to plan around as well.
Yeah, I think that if they bring back daily cups, it needs to be reduced stakes. I think completely reduced stakes. I would love daily cups that had no freaking cash reward and was just placement only.
Yes, and leaderboards. That's it.
And leaderboards, of course.
Or just bro, they haven't utilized this. Please. I don't mind daily cups if you give us something in-game. Skins, a pickaxe. The daily cup pickaxe for coming top 100. Or something special. Like, utilize the infrastructure.
I love the idea of daily tournaments, though. I want to get to a space where we have so much playable that everybody can experience comp Fortnite without waiting till the weekend to play on FNCS. Everybody can experience some form of comp Fortnite, and the stakes are not so high that everybody is trying to pay attention to it. That everybody's like, oh my God, Mitra won another daily cup. He's the best player. It's like, no, man, nobody gives a crap, bro. It's a practice tournament. Like, it's not.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. It's just in the past, winning 2 daily cups was equivalent to qualifying for heats, which is not cool. That is not feng shui, my man.
Yes.
Fix it on the furniture.
That is messed up.
All right. Let's keep it moving.
That's consistently happening, by the way, throughout the entire history of comp Fortnite. The Marvel freaking Cup had you would get more from winning or doing good in a Wild Wednesday than qualifying for heat. Oh my gosh.
All right. We got it.
You do more. You get more for rolling the dice at TwitchCon and getting into the TwitchCon Stream Invitational than qualifying for the TwitchCon Grand Finals.
It be like that sometimes, but there's room for change. Like 2021 will be a great year, a tremendous year. Arena rework, add prizes, skins, incentives. Much like the wins for daily cups. Agree? It'd be cool. They'd have to find a way around that, or a way to do it coolly.
Can we add the caveat to this one that I'd actually prefer not prizes, skins, and incentives more so? Well, incentives as a whole that's a big word. I'm going to propose an incentive which is demote, which actual rankings that matter. What is your face, bro?
That was a cool face though.
Making this self-contained where you don't actually need prizes and skins and shit like this, where everybody's like, I'm playing for the skin, rah! Like, oh shit, why can't we have a competitive Fortnite system that just works?
Yeah, I agree.
And
I didn't
to
even
do
read
that,
it.
you need good elo and stuff like that.
Yeah, facts. Actually having arena be an arena rather than a glorified pub lobby queue. Okay. Stick to a point format, please. Pause.
Nope. Pause, please.
Yeah.
Please no. If you ask Epic to stick to a point format, we're gonna get thresholding.
Okay.
We need to continue to push to get good formats. We need to continue to push to get non-thresholded formats because that's the best way, right?
I want somewhat a best way. I just want there to be consistency and a consistent theme via point formats, especially tournament to tournament.
There is.
There isn't sometimes. There really isn't. there isn't enough of a. I think we're gonna talk about
okay,
that.
but that's because point thresholds, the way that we're going makes it really hard to keep track at all of what changes there are, which is another story entirely. But you're not attacking the right thing.
Okay. Facts. Okay. All right. Moving on. Reformat the FNCS qualifiers.
This is dangerous. This is dangerous.
Reformat the FNCS qualifiers. Too many dog shit players in the heats. I'm just reading off the page.
All right, I think we're done here.
Let's see. Let's see what we can attack here for a sec.
Okay.
So I
do think that we need a structure change in FNCS, and I think that a lot of people made that clear.
Okay,
but that's a long conversation. There's a long
more communication / transparency, 100%. Okay, cool. This is the one I wanted to talk about. Remove 30 player surge.
Going back to that communication, they've done a great job this season. Absolutely fantastic job. Like the comp Twitter was blowing up. It was fantastic. The promotion that they did on there, they made clips. They did amazing things. That was wonderful. The arena duos, freaking impression farm, just beautiful.
Yep.
Remove 30 player
surge. There's no point. Yeah, I mean at that point, like people shambles on surge are gonna die anyways. Delaying 70 player surge by one zone though. No? Yes?
I need to understand what he's trying to fix.
I have a problem with surge. I actually just have a problem with surge in general.
Well, sure.
Surge is such a big fact of the game, especially when it ticks in, and all we have is a little title card that pops up and where if you're listening to Spotify or another stream on the side, you don't hear while watching streams / FNCS.
Come on, man. If you're playing Surge lobby, you're not having this issue.
No, I'm not talking about the player. I'm talking about the viewer. I'm talking about, I wish, as big as Surge is in the game, now it influences the playstyle. I wish there was something in game. The zone pulses, like something happens on your screen, your HUD pulses around. Like something shows the viewer that the game is about to change or something is happening. Rather than a little card where, someone has an advertisement on their stream is covering it anyways, or the webcam is covering it. Like, it's impossible to see. That's just my thing.
But I don't understand why he's asking that. I think yeah, that's a good question too.
I
don't necessarily think it's a terrible idea, but I do think that it will cause more lag, and that's not good. So yeah,
cool.
You can continue. Let's speed through this so we can catch up.
Stop allowing players to swap teams mid-tournament. Facts, how it would work, definitely needs some discussion. But that's not when it's happening. I'm just reading these before I say them. All open qualifiers should be heavily placement based to prevent players from starting late. I feel like that would also solve stopping team swaps. Yeah,
maybe, but nah. Team swaps is a fundamental mess up. Like it's just in the leaderboard system, it just is allowed, but it's not really allowed in all of the rules. I don't know. It's different. That needs to be addressed separately. But I agree with this take. I don't know which one I like more, kill caps or like reducing the kill points for open stages, but in either case, I think both are fine solutions.
Yeah, I don't think kill caps do anything personally, but yeah.
Well, the way that they're implemented, absolutely. Like let's implement a 20 kill cap in solos.
That'll stop them. More serious more serious punishments would be good. Finals of more than 6 games, win incentive. What does he mean by that? I'm kind of two head on this.
I don't know if he's asking for cash for wins, but I think he is. That's what we were used to in skirmish days and stuff like that. But yeah, I agree with him. I think that the victory royale doesn't mean anything, and because of that, it's very random who the heck is winning games. You don't see Tfue and Cloak getting back-to-back second, thirds, and whatever, first, all that sort of stuff. Really too much. And if they do, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't like the idea. I've talked about this a lot, especially with Calc, because that man for some reason really loves money for wins. The thing that it tries to do is stop griefing, right? That is like the inherent thing from trying to add money for wins. Gives everybody a chance to always win some money. But the problem is that if you're at the bottom of the leaderboard, you're not winning a game. Not these days. Maybe back in the days of PAX West, yes, you were winning. You could show up randomly and be 99th place and win a game because nobody was going for kills back then. So you had more of a chance to just last through placement. But at this point, no. What I will say is that a match point format would be a great win incentive to get that victory out. The match point format where you get a certain amount of points, the Apex format essentially, you get a certain amount of points, and then in order to win the tournament, you have to win a game after you get a threshold of points. That will achieve a number of different things in my mind here. But I don't know exactly what he's going for.
I would say the match point format would be the fix there. Past that, ammo caps, agree on them. Numbers maybe have to be changed here or there, but I think that we need some.
Yes.
And team modes can fly around it because we have multiple teammates with ammo. You can split it up. It's
cool still
gameplay.
More tactical than this. The point that this is trying to SMG and AR, you're trying to avoid spam, which I think is great because in squads especially, spam gets completely wild. Sniper ammo, we're just trying to nerf snipers, please.
Lessening the damage gap between gun rarities,
especially for pumps, right?
I feel like the coolest thing I've ever seen between gun rarities is Kit's charged shotgun having an extra ammo slot being higher, and I feel like Fortnite actually does like a weird job in their graded gold gun changes compared to other games. Like I wish there was more utility between gun rarities, is what I'm talking about. Like more visible utility. I think the best visible utility we see is you don't mind it, true. The best we see is between a blue and a purple pump, right? You can really feel the change. You can understand what's happening. There's an audio cue that's different. I wish we utilized utility more. A higher ammo magazine for big rarity, stuff like that.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Lessen the loot gap between POIs. Always an interesting discussion. We go either way. Yeah.
Well, what's not fine is the two big loot POIs and everything else sucks.
Honestly, I feel like even having like 4 or 5 big loot POIs and everything sucks is also bad. Like the season 2 special of vaults.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. I wish if there was like,
but that was better than this, right?
Yes, 100%.
Which I think was what Chap is trying to say. Yeah. But season 1 is just better because everybody's kind of
lessen the loot gap. He's saying like at least make it like that, not all even. And then punish players for not playing the tournament to the best of their ability. I just feel like takes a lot of like, personal anecdotes in a sense. Not personal anecdotes. Takes a lot of personal time rather than here we can automate it. Enough POIs for 100 players and then us the big man, Ballatw. 100%. Or should I say pause?
Pause. All right, let's move on.
Wrap it up.
We have a shit ton of stuff to get through. I don't know why we should not have spent so much time on that. That was because we should have just had Chap on and then we could have just talked about it. Like that would have been lit.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're stupid.
One day
we'll be smart. One day we'll get an EU guest.
Do you want to pick and choose to hit stuff, or do you want to just try to hit it all home?
What we got? 10 minutes? Let's hit it all. Hit it all.
Okay, let's actually do it in a weird format here. Let's actually talk about a little bit of a positive thing here. The competitive creator skin bundles. Right, one of the things that got added while we were away. Looks pretty cool. We've been asking for stuff like it overall. The Benji Fishy bundle got added to the game. That's pretty sick. It's not,
I need to go
something like a TSM format and whatnot. But yeah, this is really cool. Nick 30 had his too.
Yeah. I think this is awesome. I would love to know if there's if it's a similar thing to like what are the things we put on the guns in CSGO and then the player gets a cut?
Stickers.
Yeah, I would love to know if it's like a sticker type of thing where these guys are getting compensated for it. But in general, I love it. I love it a lot. And I hope that they continue to do more. It's just really fun. And you get reactions like this from Nick. You get reactions like this from Benji. And you already had people dying to get the skins that the pros were using. This is just even better, to be honest. But I hope that there is a merit-based way to like achieve this, right? I would love to see
Qualify,
people. Yeah, not necessarily. It doesn't have to be like super structured or anything like this, but I do want to see people who are putting in the work, you know, get the result too. I don't want it just to be reserved to Aiden. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be reserved to like random people who don't necessarily have that big of a connection anymore to the community or stuff like that. Like that stuff does kind of rub me the wrong way in some cases. But in any case, it is awesome. No matter what, no matter how it goes, I just hope that it's accessible to all.
Yeah, cool. That was pretty much an update as to what was happening there. In terms of like, you know, Nick 30 influencers, their relation to Fortnite, we have a lot of cups this season as well.
Yeah, we did.
Right, like around the place. Practice server also doing their thing. We you know, Boom TV with their cup. Did we cast that? I think we casted that.
We did, yeah. Well, there was two of them, but there was the $25,000 one. You remember? Sponsored by Xfinity, you know?
Oh, yes. Now I do the eye drops. Digit eye. Yeah, cool.
I think that these cups, these tournaments have kind of stagnated in a sense. And I don't know if you agree, but basically, like the Nick 30 Cup, I paid partial attention to. That was during the week of Thanksgiving, so I wasn't like super engrossed in it. But for the most part, I don't think that we're converting the amount of hype and energy that there is around the game into these third-party tournaments. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like the Nick 30 Cup was an outlier.
Yes,
but every other cup I agree with, because he actually did something that was different, right? And something that it truly felt like, you know, making it heavily placement based.
True.
And that was the big thing. Community loved it. There were players we never get to, you know, see. Sometimes on the leaderboard, hey, where did they go? Make it placement based again. They're back. Sparebow, right? In the top 5, in the top 2. I haven't seen them in years. Like that type of gameplay was once again resurged. And now it has a tag of every time you think of it, you might think of Nick 30, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's missed sometimes with cups. So, you know, the only times I feel like I'm really associating stuff with the practice server was the Elite Cup stuff, right? A lot of these third parties, sometimes it kind of gets swept under the rug, even though there's a very good job done. I feel like with identity, like you have to take some shots to go for a certain theme. Nick did a good job in that.
I don't know if that's something I want to encourage though. I don't know if I want every cup to try to be different. You know what I'm saying? I do want them to be different, but not in terms of the game. Like it's a competitive Fortnite game. Like let's play competitive Fortnite. You know what I'm saying? I think he did basically what was in Chap's list, which was make opens less kill based and more placement based, and obviously that carried through. But in any case, like I think I'd rather. I guess what I'm saying is they're not unique enough in the ways that I am curious or interested about. You know,
what are some of those ways?
There's no broadcast, there's no promotion, there's no hype. All the things that I always am talking about.
Yeah.
You know, Nick 30 watched the opens, but other than that, there was no way to follow the Nick 30 Cup outside of viewing parties. I still think, even though I love the viewing party people, I still think that's an issue. And it even extends to almost to DreamHack too. Like all of these different places that are hosting tournaments, we're struggling to make them stand out to bring value to those third-party organizers right now. You know what I'm saying? Like the DreamHack stream only gets how many viewers in the finals, while the viewing parties are cruising. There's things that I think can be done that are just not happening. In the practice server stuff, like we did the practice server thing that happened yesterday in Nerd Street, there was the Elite Cup, for example, both of those had something interesting in it. First one was EU players. Second one was the kicking people out in the format.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. Maybe I'm ranting. Maybe I'm just seeing something that's not there.
No, there's definitely like I think there's been like pseudo talks about it. And overall, I saw like Monster retweet something about, you know, being thankful that Arkhram made a post that he came first in one of those cups, like really trying to support that third party aspect or the people who are trying to maintain kind of like the ecosystem of this being possible and happening again over time. I feel like people might have the idea that a lot of this stuff is a one-off. Yeah. Like someone will host an event and it's a one-off. But if you truly support it in a way and structure it in a way that, you know, it'll be upcoming next, or here is a story as updated.
Yeah.
It's not just kind of a hit and quit thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have that hit and quit atmosphere, not only from, you know, the viewer side, the player side, but also from the TO side sometimes, right? Like just overall having the promotion, having, you know,
yeah, I'm just super
players
jaded.
know.
I realize I'm just super jaded. But it's everywhere.
That's how I
You're
see
right.
it, though.
Like the Boom
Yeah.
TV thing that we're talking about. Come on,
But
man.
it's changing.
The community treated that in such a way that we had, what was it, 30 people in the last game?
Yeah.
Like the pros left. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there was nothing. Sure, there were certain decisions that are made from the TO perspective, but at the same time, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is it's a whole team effort. Everybody needs to come together to make these events good. And if you see something wrong, like in the Chipotle Cup, for example, where people are saying this format is not working or it's not going to work, like we need to be trying to fix them in a way that doesn't scare these players out. And what I saw from the Chipotle Cup is people rightfully being upset about the format, but so hateful that I think they're probably on the start of chasing a TO out, which is bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah. And then, yeah, that's the TO side of thing, right? That's kind of like the space we're in, I would say, on the bottom end at the end of the year. But then one thing on the top right now in terms of what's going on with external stuff, just trying to segue this, orgs, 100 Thieves especially. I didn't even know until I logged on. I thought it was just an island that we're making, but the hub was the Cash App compound.
That's sick.
Which is kind of insane.
That's like, sick. It carries over from like the competitive creator skin bundles, right?
Yeah.
Like just literally that. Just more support to the people who are doing things in the game, right? 100 Thieves has a ton of players in Fortnite. And they're still doing very well. All these different things like that just creating that relationship between org and developer, I think is really good. And I think Epic is actually doing a pretty good job of that recently. 100 Thieves. There was the 1% Cup. There was the Lachlan. There was the power thing, right? The
power,
PWR
the power
Cup.
We've got like reschedule here and there, but
yeah,
search and destroy. You can never forget.
True.
100 Thieves face, search and destroy. You know how it goes.
That was kind of random, but
that was the best.
I think this is cool. Yeah. I don't know if there's like improvements on this. Like again, I would hope that these relationships are accessible to orgs all around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I would love to see Become Legends like be involved in something like this too. Like these collaborations between orgs that are really, really working hard in the scene.
It's a free space for content, and we're just scratching the surface. It's a creative map. You never know what else comes through. I'm waiting for more Fortnite cinematics in general, honestly, man.
Yes, sir.
Barely saw any, but we'll see how it goes. Upcoming tournaments, moving past orgs into the business. We have the JBL Quantum Cup coming up, and then another Chipotle Challenger Series.
Yeah, so the Chipotle Cup, the JBL Cup. This is cool. Fortnite is part of like a 3 tournament series with these guys, and they have 3 regions playing. Like they have Oceania, I believe, they have EU, and they have NA East, or just NA in general.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Like that's really, really, really cool that they're doing this, and hopefully people do support this. Hopefully people do watch it because there is a broadcast, which not all tournaments do. This should be good. This should be really good. Oh, we're both casting it, which is cool.
We're both casting it. Yeah. That was announced, I hope, unless I was dreaming when that was tweeted out and I replied to it. Okay, cool. And then, we have another Chipotle Challenger Series that will be rolling through. I think it's the 4th one that's happening. I'm actually very curious as to what ends up happening there, right? Like, especially with that point from before. We talked about it a lot on the broadcast right now, but or on the podcast right now. I just want to see what they do next, honestly. Like, where things get met in the middle. Because they've obviously tried both ways. I'm actually very, very interested. Yeah.
If there will be a meeting in the middle, but I think that's, I'm not exactly sure. Can you pull that up, Robbie? Is there a link for that? The Chipotle thing? Oh, it's formatted weird. Let me just click open the link anyways. And okay, so the finals is December 8th. There's still qualifiers ongoing for NA East and NA West. That's on Thursday happening. I'm a little scared for them, but because the season is changing.
Oh yeah, that was the main thing.
I'm a little scared for them, so hopefully that goes well. But in any case, the finals are next Tuesday. Not tomorrow, but the next one, which is gonna be fun. It's a trios tournament, and last one was really good, man. Last one was really good. We got all those content creators back, but it was a stacked tournament, and it was a lot of fun to watch. It was weird teams, similar to like Ninja Battles and stuff like that. Any case, those are the two. I don't think there's anything else, which kind of bums me out, but it is the off season.
It's also the season switch, and you got to be careful when season is switching. I also don't think people like having, tournaments for the first little bit until, the meta develops. Everyone's obsessed with playing arena. Like, obviously, you want to be the first tournament, but you want to do it at the right time. So, see what happens there. To wrap up the show, though, let's hit some rapid fire predictions for season number 5. We've had wish lists, we've had checklists, we've talked about histories of players, but for us, let's go. One item you think is going to be vaulted, Ballatw.
I want to hear from chat too. Item I think is going to be vaulted. Okay. Shockwave. I think the Shockwave is going to go. I don't think the Crash Pad's leaving though. I'm
going to think Scope they are out of the game.
Oh, true.
Okay.
Yeah. That's easy.
Safe. You know what? Let's make it a little bit interesting. Chug splashes, I think, might be vaulted.
No.
We always see some heal switch.
Those are so good.
It's sad, but that and an SMG switch, I think, might be possible. Speaking of the switch, one item you think is going to be brought back from the depths of the vault?
Ooh, Slurp Juice. You had me. You went with the heals. I went with the heals too. Slurp Juice coming back.
Okay. I rep it. I feel like one of these crazy mobility items, i.e. Glad to redeploy, or the Flint Knock, because that's been asked for so much.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember.
Shield bubbles. They're coming back too.
Were there any winter items in season 7?
Boombox?
Bar the plane. But like
Boombox.
Boombox, maybe. I'm thinking about
there was the rocket, the rocket bottles too, the bottle rockets.
Oh god, okay. Hopefully none of that. Moving past it. Do you think this next season will have like a branded aspect? Marvel Night, DC Night, or is it gonna be original Fortnite? Star Wars?
Yeah, isn't there like a leak or something that happened? That
Maybe
had like
a gas leak
Jedi
in your house
or something. No, there was definitely like some skins added or something like that. I don't know.
Really?
Last Christmas was Star Wars out the wazoo, bro. I said that like 5 times this stream, but like, it's gonna be Star Wars again, bro. We had lightsabers last time, like, and now we got the full Marvel. Hell yeah, we're getting the full Star Wars. This is gonna be full on. Is there a Star Wars movie this year?
Nah, they're doing like. They have Mandalorian. They have the Obi-Wan stuff.
Oh, maybe not then.
They literally just like ended with the worst Star Wars movie out of all the Sar Wars movies.
No. The second new one was the worst. Come on now.
Second one, I enjoyed The Last Jedi more than whatever the heck I watched. Because it has some dope quotes, man. Some dope quotes.
Oh no, come on, man.
I think that it'll be a regular Fortnite season. Although there's so much room now, and I feel like it's in the ecosystem of branding. I feel like just for the winter, it'll be shorter and it'll be a regular Fortnite season. But we'll see what happens. Mode, Ballatw. What is the next FNCS game mode?
Duos. Not duos. If it's not duos, then we've been debated like hardcore.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it's duos.
I think it's Team Rumble. I think it's Team Rumble, FNCS, 25
Marvel
player teams.
FNCS.
We will
like,
fix
it's happening.
Dude, I'm wondering if like anything Marvel is going to get to stay. I'll be so sad if like actually even though like it a little bit bugged me because it took away from Fortnite, even though it is Fortnite. Like what happens is Stark Industries just gone because the contract is over this season.
I mean,
like,
Gotham was gone in like a week.
But Gotham was just the POI, here's Frenzy Farm. Everything was fine. It was all part of your imagination.
If Frenzy Farm comes back, oh my goodness. If Frenzy Farm comes back and it's squads, bro. Oh my god. Let's go. We gotta have
both Chap and Arab on the broadcast at the same time. Or on the podcast. I keep switching up the names. You have any other rapid fires you want to toss out?
Nah. I'm not quick enough. What mode will Winter Royale be?
If there is one?
Uh-huh.
Solos.
I agree with that. Leshy says he's sure it's squad because he has been leaked. Yeah, no. Don't believe
thank you,
everything.
Thank you, man.
All right. That's a wrap for us today. That was fun. We went 5 minutes overtime. We'll have to we started late too. We had so many tech issues that I think
we're on time.
I think we're on time. I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back Thursday at the same time, right? 1 p.m. Eastern. Potentially might shift because we're trying to get an EU guest as usual. But the season will be launched then, and we'll have plenty to talk about. So don't forget to come back to that. If you did miss this, it will be on the Twitch VOD forever. I don't put those sub only, but in any case, you can catch it on YouTube, edited, all nice and pretty, and all your favorite podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Stitcher, whatever. You'll find it out there. And don't forget, subscribe, like, retweet our stuff when we tweet it out at FNTASIA Podcast. It super helpful. Super helpful. But with that, guys, hope you enjoyed this bonus episode wrapping up season 4. We'll see you in season 5.